Hey guys, so I have gotten a lot of requests to do a Draw My Life video, and to be completely honest with you, I don't have enough time in my day to sit down and do a Draw My Life video. I mean, for one, the video itself would be like 24, even more minutes long. It could be like 30 minutes long, and that requires a lot of editing, a lot of recording, a lot of voiceovers. That's just a lot of stuff that I just personally don't have time to do. I've tried to film it twice. I just don't have time to do that. So I came up with a solution to one of my subscribers, and I'm just going to tell you guys about my life instead of doing a Draw My Life. Seeing how today's my birthday, that seems like the perfect day to do it, right? Okay, so I don't know if I should start off with whenever my parents met or what. So I'm just going to start. So my mom and my dad met whenever they were teenagers, and they got together and they got pregnant with me whenever my mom was 17. And she had me on August 16th, 1995, and I was 7 pounds, 14 ounces, and 21.5 inches long. And in a little, well, not a little town, it's actually the biggest city in Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas. It's like smack dab in the middle, you can't miss it. So, well, my mom and my dad, they really didn't work out very well because my dad decided to go to drugs. And my mom, of course, stayed my mom, you know, and then my mom had my little brother Nathan, and then she had my other little brother Seth, and then I started going to elementary schools. We moved around a lot, from like the middle of Arkansas to the top of Arkansas, back and forth all throughout my whole childhood. So in elementary school, and it's the same for middle school and high school, I've always loved school. I've been really great at it. I never got into trouble. The most I think that I ever did was I get detention or something. But I was really good at grades. I always had friends. You know, I wasn't I didn't really I didn't get made fun of at school, but I got made fun of at home, around friends that kids that would live around my neighborhood. But yeah, so I mean, school was a breeze for me. Like I said, I'm really smart. I like to go. I had a lot of friends, and teachers liked me, so that's not really much to talk about. It's like that since I've been going to school. Well, I started high school in 2000 and some year. I started high school, okay, and where I live at, high school is in the 9th grade. So I started high school, and I got down the wrong path, and I got really, really, really depressed. Really depressed. I started doing some things that I shouldn't have been doing, and I just got really, really depressed. I ended up having to go stay a short period of time in a mental hospital because I was crazy, and I'm glad that I did that. And then a couple weeks later, I ended up getting hit by a car, and that's whenever it set in, hey, life is too precious to be wasting away doing the stuff that you're doing, so maybe it's time for you to change. So I decided that I was going to turn my life around, and I really did. I tried out for the dance team for my 10th grade year, and I made it. And so I was on the dance team, and I was, I was totally different from my 9th grade year. I was so happy, and I had a lot more friends, and I was just me. I was the real me, So around September, sorry, that's my dog. Move, Max. Go. 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 Around, actually, it was more like August, I ran into an old friend, and his name was Sean, and we had met through church, actually, a couple of years ago, because they both went, him and his brother went to my church, and I never particularly liked him. I mean, he was funny, but he was mean to people, really mean. So I never really just hung out with him or whatever, because like I said, he's mean. I'm the type of person that's nice to everybody. You could be purple and I'd be nice to you, and he was just mean. So I mean, we knew each other, but we weren't best friends or anything like that. And then in August, my 10th grade year, we had actually came to hang out between mutual friends. My friend was friends with this guy, and this guy was friends with him, and then, we just all hung out, and he happened to be there. And then that's kind of where our feelings for each other kind of kindled, I guess. Like, he liked me, but I didn't like him, and I was like, I'm never gonna like you because you're a jerk. But he just kept trying and stuff like that, and we finally got together October 23rd, 2011. And then we started doing grown-up things that we shouldn't have been doing unprotectedly, which we also shouldn't have been doing. And then we broke up at the end of December, or it was either the end of December or the beginning of January. And we broke up. He said it was because I cheated on him, but I didn't cheat on him. He was just lying to get out of it. And then we still, like, remained friends, and we were still doing grown-up things that we shouldn't have been doing. And then he left. I'm saying "and then" a lot. He left to boot camp because he had gotten into some trouble, so their punishment for him was to go to I think it was a 3-month boot camp. So he went away to boot camp, and we remained friends or whatever. And then I started feeling like I was pregnant, so I was like, oh crap. So February 4th, on a Saturday at home, 2012, I took a home test and it came back positive. So February 6th, that Monday, I went ahead and got an actual test from the doctor, and that came back positive as well. So I wrote him a letter because he was only allowed to get letters from friends. So I wrote him a letter and I was like, I'm pregnant. And then he was like, are you sure, you know? And I was like, yeah, I'm sure I'm pregnant. And he was like, oh, we're going to be a family. I'll love you and the baby. We're going to make this work. He was like, don't be scared. You know, we're going to make this work. We're going to da-da-da-da. So then he gets out of boot camp, and he don't want to have anything to do with me at all. Like, he gets out of boot camp, and mind you, the whole entire time he's in boot camp, we're supposed to be together. So he gets out of boot camp, and he, like, wants to go back to being himself, which is this guy that likes to party and do illegal things like drink and smoke and just do stuff he's not supposed to do. So I was left here alone, being pregnant by myself, 16 and pregnant. And then, like, throughout my whole pregnancy, we really didn't get along because he didn't understand that by me having a baby, like, my life was over. I wasn't allowed to just, well, I was allowed to, but I couldn't just, like, go out and just have fun and party and all this stuff like he could, and he would never understand that. So my whole pregnancy, we fought each other, not physically or anything, but I couldn't get along with him. He didn't see why I couldn't get along with him, but it would just make me so mad that he could go home at the end of the day and go out with his friends and act like he wasn't even having a baby, and I could not do that. So it just made me resent him so much because, you know, that back in February, whenever I found out I was pregnant, you know, my life stopped. So I dropped out of high school whenever I found that I was pregnant also. I forgot to mention that. Just because, you know, like, at first I was like, you know, of course I'm going to finish school, you know, duh, who wouldn't finish school? But then the more I got to think about it, once Isabella was to be born, I wouldn't have anybody to watch Isabella, you know, so I just figured, okay, drop out, get your GED. So I got my GED, and in 3 days I had my GED. So it's no big deal, you know, I got my GED. So, you know, like, I think it was May, whatever the 5th month of the year is, January, February, March, April, May. Yeah, in May I found out that I was having a little girl, and that's whenever me and Sean, which is Isabella's dad, really stopped getting along because he really wanted a boy. And so he just stopped having anything to do with me because he said that he felt like it was my fault that we were having a girl, and that, I don't know, he's weird. So, like, we stopped getting along after that. And then, sorry, I gotta pick this up. And then, so we were, like, I'm trying to say, like, get this across, like, throughout my whole pregnancy, we really didn't talk. I mean, he never helped me out with anything for the baby at all. He came to the baby shower high on illegal substances and was just being a jerk, like, my whole pregnancy. So then September rolled around, and Isabella was due in September, and he decided that he wanted us to get back together and stuff like that. So we had decided before, like, the day before I had Isabella, that we were going to get back together after the baby was born. Well, I got induced September the 26th, so I knew I was going to have her, but even if I didn't get induced, I was going to have her that day anyway, because I'd been having contractions like all that day. My doctor said I would have had her anyway that day anyway. But Isabella keeps throwing her cookie cup down. But so he came to the birth of Isabella and slept until about 12 o'clock, like 1 or 2. It was between like 12 and 2. So we got there at like, well, they got there at like 6:30. I was there from 5:30 because that's whenever they wanted me to come in and get induced. And he just slept the whole day, you know. My mom and his mom and my aunt and my cousin Destiny and of course my brothers, they were all by my side throughout my labor, but he was sleeping. So then whenever, you know, things started to get like, okay, well, she's dilating so much, you know, let's just get ready to have the baby. Sean really stepped up and he was there, you know. He watched Isabella be born. He watched like all the stuff, you know. He was real mature about it. He didn't act crazy like I thought he was going to. And right after Isabella was born, like legit, like they had just gave her back to me, he walked out of the room to go tell his mom, like, you know, how much she weighs and stuff like that. Well, for some reason, and I still haven't figured that out why, but they wouldn't let him come back in the room. So he was like, okay, well, I'm going to go get something to eat. So he left with some friends to go get something to eat and then ended up getting arrested. Like, he was at a park. Here, baby. Here. He went and he tried to say that they wouldn't bring him back to the hospital, but I just don't believe that. He went to a park after the park hours, like, you know, parks close, and he went to the park and then got arrested for being out after curfew. So the first 3 weeks of his life, he was in jail, and then he got out, and then he didn't really even come around after then. I mean, like, up until just recently, like, from September to December, he saw Isabella maybe a total of 5 times, and we really just didn't get along, like, because of what he was doing to Isabella. Like, I felt like he should be there more, if that makes any sense. But then in December, no, it was November, he came one day, like, came to my house, and he was like, I'm leaving to Colorado. And I was like, okay. Okay, backtrack. I forgot all about this. So, before I had Isabella in August, so I had her in September. In August, he came to my house, and he was telling me about how they're trying to accuse him of something that they didn't do, and that there's prison time involved in it. So, I believed what he said, and, you know, like, that he didn't do it or whatever, you know. So, fast track. Okay, I forgot to tell you about that. So, and he came in November and was like, I'm moving to Colorado. And I was like, okay. He was like, just to get away from here because the cops won't try, they keep on trying to pin this stuff on me and I didn't do it, so I'm leaving. And I was like, okay, so when you leaving? And he was like, now. We're leaving right now. My stuff's in the car, we're leaving right now. So I'm like, what the mess, you know, who does that? So he gave Isabella a hug and a kiss and said bye to my little brother and just left. And so, for the longest time, what, baby? You want something to play with? Mommy's trying to think of what you can play with. Here. So, for the longest time, I didn't talk to him because I felt like he didn't even care. So, we didn't talk or whatever. Well, finally, I forgave him. And then he started talking about how much he wanted to come home and how much he wanted to be a family again and how much he hated Colorado and that he was coming back home and we were going to be together. Well, then he gets arrested again in Colorado. So, he's in Colorado, and then they find out, well, then I found out, and I guess he finds out that he has warrants in, down, like, in Arkansas. So they, like, extradite him back from Colorado, and he comes back from Colorado, and then they stick him in jail again. So, he's in jail again, and he's going to have to go to court for the stuff that he said he didn't do, but he did do. But, yeah, so he's having to go to court from that. So, you know, this whole time, like, I'm just sitting there with Isabella, like, okay, what do I do, you know? So, you know, I'm just, like, being a mom to Isabella. I mean, like, I wasn't in school yet, I wasn't working, you know. Basically, I was just, like, a stay-at-home mom 24/7. So then, you know, we found out that he has to do, 15 years in penitentiary, but he got 8 suspended. So, yeah, so, like, my heart was, like, broken, you know, and then, like, I broke up with my boyfriend because, like, yeah, like, the whole entire time, me and, like, Sean were, like, trying to get back together, then not getting back together. Like, I was still with my boyfriend, so I broke up with him because I felt like he didn't deserve me to do that to him because, like, my heart wasn't there, so I just broke up with him. And then we ended up getting back together, and then we got engaged, and then we ended up breaking up, and then we got back engaged, and then we ended up breaking up again. And I started school, and I've been doing school and taking care of Isabella ever since. And me and my boyfriend are probably going to get back together. So that's my life. I mean, there's not really anything to go into detail. I mean, like, there's not really anything exciting that ever happens. I mean, yeah. Oh, I started doing YouTube videos whenever Isabella was 2 months old, but I didn't really do a lot of them because we didn't have internet at our house. So, like, whenever I would just, like, record a video and upload them every single time I'd get a chance. But, yeah, so I hope you guys liked my Tell My Life video. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.